Good afternoon. Namaskar. Jai Mohan ji. Welcome to another session where we will do the Gayatri Mantra chanting. And what am I going to talk about today? That's the most favorite line which comes to my mind every morning. Um, what I want to talk about today is in a way, we should have faith, believe, and look and believe in the fact that there's going to be a better tomorrow. So, what I'm going to talk about is the fact that miracles do happen. Change is the only constant in life. Keep the faith on, believe in your system, in your family, in your friends, in your country right now, that whatever is happening is not going to stay forever and there will be a better tomorrow. Why am I talking about this today? I had made a similar video last year as well in April 2020 about miracles, and today again I want to talk about it because the only thing which can take us out of the existing situation that is prevalent in India is a strong belief system, is the fact that whichever way we are going to come out of it, we are going to stay positive, we are going to stay together, and we're not going to panic, we are not going to let fear overcome us. Because the moment fear overcomes our takes over our faculties, then we don't think straight, we don't think right, and we stopped acting, and we expect someone else to make it work for us, which is not going to happen. um, what happened to me in the last yesterday, I feel is nothing short of miracle. So on 29th, April, which was day before yesterday, I got a message in the day saying from the Covin app that the vaccination dose, which was due for my parents for 2nd of May, has been cancelled. So prior to that, I was hearing and reading here and there that the second dose of the vaccines are in short supply, and it may be difficult for people to get their second dose. So hasten up, go and get it quickly, so on and so forth. But for whatever reasons, I was not letting those emotions take over my faculties, and I had scheduled my parents' appointment as per 6 weeks or 7 weeks, because my parents took their vaccine 1 week apart. So I scheduled it in such a way that it was 7 weeks for my mom and 6 weeks for my parents, and I was sitting tight on it. So I was, probably I was complacent. So when I got that message, I was still not very perturbed. But when I kind of shared it with my dad, I saw that sudden panic took over him, and he was calling helter skelter all his friends and trying to find out where to take vaccinations because his friends are not in Bangalore; they are outside Bangalore. And I thought, okay, I have to do something for my father at that. So I asked some people. I asked them if I could, what I could do. So first of all, when such things happen in life, you really have to count your blessings and be grateful to the people who reach out to you when you post a query. So when I posted a query on the WhatsApp group of my apartment, immediately there were personal messages guiding me as to where I can, if there has been a cancellation. The cancellations are primarily happening at private clinics, and so please reach out to government centers or some other way, some drives where vaccination is happening. Reach out to them and find out. So I'm extremely thankful to my neighbors and friends for reaching out to me personally. Then friend of mine who's a doctor himself, he called me up, and he first of all he gave me a mouthful as to why are you waiting so long. So I was trying to justify by saying that I thought the longer I wait the better, but he was like, no, don't wait. So he told me that do whatever, but let me also find out. But try and get them vaccinated in the next before the 30th, before the 1st of May. And even till then, I was thinking, no, it'll sort out, it'll now happen. But when I started calling a few other numbers, and everybody said, no, our vaccines are not there, and private centers don't have vaccine. We don't have visibility for the next few days or maybe a week or 10 days, and we don't know what's going to happen. And then I saw my father in that situation. I thought, no, let me do something. I have to do something about it, because even though I may be calm, if it is affecting his stability and if it's making him anxious, then I have to sort that. So yesterday morning, I shortlisted a few centers, government centers, and there was a Rotary drive which was happening as well. And I got to know about from another friend and neighbor. And as I said, I'm extremely grateful to people who reached out and shared contacts. So I told my parents that have breakfast and let's be prepared that we are out on the road for a few hours looking for a center where I can get you both vaccinated. Now, there are a few challenges. One is, if you go to a public health center, then they are also active COVID testing centers. So there is a possibility of being infected there right then and there. And I was like, okay, we'll see how it goes. Two, most of these centers, what I had heard, have a token system. So you have to go sometime in the morning, collect the token, come back, and then go back with the people later, so I had not done that prep work and I thought, okay. So when I left in the morning, we first went to a center which had some 300 people standing out. So this was a private drive, but 300 people standing outside. So when I went and spoke to the gentleman and I said, sir, how can I get a token? He told me, ma'am, if you're not standing in the queue since morning, then please don't wait because I don't even think the people who are standing in the queue will get their vaccine. We have only limited supply. Okay. So that's my, okay. That's when I pressed a panic button inside of me that okay, things are really that grave. And I was sitting tight at home thinking, okay, I got the first dose effortlessly. I walked into a private clinic and everything was hanky dory. It's going to, but it's not going to be that way. And that's when my Guruji Mohanji's words came to my mind that keep your faith, don't stop thinking, be flexible, and don't let fear take over the situation. So I told my parents, relax, we'll go to another. So we went to the closest, so I searched on Google public healthcare centers around me and I went to the closest one. And I told my parents, sit in the car, I'll get the token and then we'll see. Once I reached, I was standing across the road and the center was on the other side, and I saw it was like a mela there. Like it was a fair, and there was COVID testing happening on one side, and there was vaccination. So there were two shamiyanas with two different banners, and I was standing, say, 30, 40 feet on the other side of the road, and I just did not gather the courage to walk into the space to either take a token or speak to anyone. And luckily I had the number of the person in charge there. I called him and he said, madam, I don't think for the next few days we have enough vaccines for the token, so don't even try and come in now, come after a few days. I said, okay, fine, thank you. Then I went back to the car and then again we did. So we went to a few other centers where we saw queues like that, or we saw that uh, most importantly, what I was a little perturbed about is the fact that testing happening at the same space, and therefore I didn't want to even get out of my car or go to those centers, walk into those centers. So I told my dad, oh dad, see, we tried and the situation is such, don't worry, you still have 2 more weeks to go before you hit the 8 weeks. We'll try something, let's go back home. So with that, I turned my car and we went back. We were driving back home, and in my mind I was just keeping my faith on. So the deities I believe in, or we belong so we believe in the tradition of Babaji and Sai Babaji and Mahavtar Babaji, and I was just praying to them and thinking about the words my guru has told me, and I said that just do whatever is right for them at this point in time, just help me find a way so that I don't feel that I've given up. And then I drive back, and while I was entering my house, suddenly I recall that another friend of mine had said that there is a public health center just which is slightly on the other side of our house, not on the same side where I ventured out in the morning. And supposedly that is a good center. She said, just go and find out. So she had told me this a day, 2 days before that, or maybe a day, I don't remember, but she had clearly told me there is a center, go and find out. But it didn't have a number on Google and I couldn't call them. But I just thought, let me just go. And I drove towards that was some 3-4 kilometers from my house on the other side, and I went there. And I mean, I was expecting that like the other centers, I'll see a plethora of cars parked outside and I'll see a ground with people standing, and I just drove in. It's a center in a narrow road, and I just drove in. First of all, there were hardly any cars, and to my surprise, there weren't any people in that center. It wasn't crowded from the outside. So when I told my parents, as usual, sit in the car, I'll go in, and I went in. So the lady there, she said, "You've come for vaccination?" I said, "Yes." Thankfully, I speak a little bit of Kannada, so it helps build a rapport. She said, "Your parents?" I said, "Yeah." And then to my surprise, I saw first this was a two-storied building where the testing was happening on a ground floor on the other side, which had a separate entrance, and the vaccinations were happening on the first floor. The two entrances were not mixed. There were no mixing of crowd. There was enough and more social distancing, which can happen in the current situation. Working there, and and I went up, and the most importantly, they had vaccine stock. They didn't, and they were not doing a token system. It was first in, first out, as in you go there and you. So I went in there and I said, I've come for vaccine. He said, okay, go verify. So I went, I did my parents' verification there, and for which it took me half an hour, 35 minutes. I told my parents, wait in the car. After I did the verification, I put them in the queue for the vaccine, which took another half an hour, including the recovery time, half an hour, 40 minutes. So, all in all, in 1 hour, 15 minutes, I was out of that place, which I had no hope in hell that morning that I will get it. And I truly, after that incident yesterday, I believe that if you keep the faith on miracle, it was nothing short of miracle, because everybody told me that, it is difficult to get vaccines. It will get difficult starting 1st May, and vaccines have been taken over from the private sector, so that the public sectors centers can push it to the people at large. And so I was so thankful. I called up every person, or sent a message who helped me with inputs. I actually shared that inputs on my residential group so that others can take benefit of the situation at that point in time and get the second dose or first dose for whoever it is due or whoever is eligible at that point in time. And I know I went to a public health center, which is uh, free vaccine for the needy, and I'm willing to donate. I mean, in fact, I'm willing to sponsor the vaccines for those who need it, when they become eligible, and if they don't have the money, because I want to give it back. But at that point in time, this is the best I thought, and it gave a lot of peace to my parents. Today my parents are very, my dad specifically, he's at peace that okay, he whatever it is, there is protection, and that mental peace helps in combating any form of illness. So this is an experience sharing I thought is very important. I wanted to do because in the current situation, it is all your faith, your belief, your strength, which is going to. Times are tough. There are loved ones, near and dear ones, in every family affected. I don't know anybody around me right now who doesn't have an active case in their family or extended family. There is a lot of fear and worry, and again, I would say the only reason I wanted to share it may just sound like, okay, it's not a big deal. I mean, you got it. But at that point in time, trust me, without any preparation, without thinking about it a day prior to that, I was so chilled out about it. And yesterday morning, it felt like all hells have broken loose. And when I saw my dad panicking, I just thought it's only the belief system which took me forward. Otherwise, I would have just said, sit at home, we'll see what happens when it happens. So please, people, I request all the viewers, whoever is listening into me, keep your faith on, be positive, stay safe, do whatever it is required to stay safe, build your immunity. But at the end of the day, we are all karmic beings. We have to go through the deeds in our lifetime, whether, and the deeds need not be of this lifetime, it could be of earlier lifetimes. But when we know, when we accept, and when there is awareness, then the journey becomes easier, the ordeal becomes easier, the faith takes you through and heals you. And I'm sure that we all will get healed. The world will see a better day. India will see a better tomorrow. It's a matter of time. Things are going to probably get a little more intense for the next 7 to 10 days, but things will come down. What goes up comes down. As I say, what comes turns around. So keep your faith on, be positive, be safe. With that, we do the Gayatri Mantra chanting. Why are we doing chanting every day? Because it is very, very helpful to, one, keep us grounded, and two, keep a balance. So once we are grounded, we also have balance, mental peace, and it just improves the overall energy and vibrations. Before I start the chant, I again want to iterate that one thing which really takes us through such tough times is the ability to be grateful for all that we have. Because when we are grateful, we count our blessings more than what is not happening right. So do say that thank you to anybody and everybody who's helped you in your journey, even if it is at that point in time. And like I am always thankful to all my family first of all for being strong in this situation, and not my friends for supporting whenever I need, and above all my guru for always guiding me what is the right path in every situation. So with that, 3 deep breaths. Let us first sit straight, center our body. We take 3 deep breaths, and then we start the chant. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturbharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodaya. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturbharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodaya. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturbharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. And the last three chants, we shall recite them slightly slowly so that we can absorb the vibrations into our system. ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. With that, we come to the end of today's session. Want to say something? Okay, my daughter wants to say something.
Hi everybody. So nowadays people are getting more and more corona. As you know that what do you call that? Shobavirus has been so now Shobavirus has a lot of cases. Now we have to be aware now. Now we have to take care of ourselves, stay at home, stay safe, and yeah.
Okay, with that, we come to the end of the session. Namaskar. Good
Namaskar.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.